All right, Kyle, what dumb thing did Patrik Allvin say this time? And is Quinn Hughes going to be the next captain of the Vancouver Canucks? You might not find out next, but we're at least going to talk about it. It's Beggsy and it's Bhawan, and you're listening to Locked On Canucks.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes. We've heard from the players, we've heard from the general manager, and now you're hearing us, Beggsy and Bhawan on Locked On Canucks. Thanks for tuning in. My name's Trevor Beggs, Canucks writer and credentialed media member for Daily Hive Vancouver. We need to tell you that you should skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Go to HelloFresh.com/NHL60 and use code NHL60 for 60% off plus free shipping. And before we dive in the show, we want to thank you again for listening to Locked On Canucks, your team every day. Subscribe or follow for free on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Coming up in today's show, we're going to get to some playoff predictions. We'll talk about some former Canucks that are in the dance. I want to talk about what stood out to me most from Patrik Allvin and Rick Tocchet's media availability. And Kyle, I know you had a quote from Allvin that got you fired up. But first and foremost, Kyle Bhawan, how you doing, buddy?
It's Monday. It's cloudy. It is what it is. Yo, what's up with that? You said America's healthy food option, HelloFresh. Come on, man. You got to mention Canada in there too, okay? For real, man. West Coast, the best coast. A lot of us watching / tuned in here right now from up there. And there's nothing against the people down there, down south. I'm just saying, HelloFresh probably available in Canada too. It is. My homies are, I'm getting older in this thing called life. You talk more about taxes, but dude, you definitely talk more about cooking when you get older. It's just the truth. Hey, speaking about cooking, we cook up episodes every day, Monday to Friday. We get the comments, we read the comments, and we save the comments for last. Yes, the best for last. The people are the reason we're here today. And the people are, in my opinion, a little upset because Patrik Allvin, let's be real, let's be honest. His PR skills are maybe like 1 or 2 or 3 levels above Jim Benning's. But the bar that Jim Benning set for years and years and years and years was so bad. This guy needs to just step it up just a bit because towards the end of what he was saying today with Rick Tocchet, he mentioned this, okay? We're 5 or 6 games away from being a playoff team right now, points-wise. Thomas Strands tweeted that out. And I don't know the context. I didn't see the question before. I'm being honest with the people, right? It is what it is. But did we need a quote like that on this gloomy Monday day when the playoffs are starting and the rest of the league is playing and we're just here? Sad, yo. Sad.
Yeah,
man. How does that quote
had
make you
one.
feel? Did it have to be said? Did
it
we
didn't
need
have
that?
to be said. No, I think Allvin has this habit of trying to, make things look a little rosier than they actually are. And in fairness, I think he talked about how changes need to be made. The team's not good enough. And, he did talk about, changes that did have to be made with the team. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. But yeah, he just has this, it just happens a couple of times every presser. He kind of says something that it's just like, come on, man, did you really have to say it? I think he had the infamous 3 first-rounders quote after the Horvat trade. He had this, we're 5-6 wins away from being a playoff team quote. Yeah, it's still, honestly, I was thinking about this the other day. Even if the NHL had a play-in tournament like the NBA, the Canucks were 11th. They wouldn't have even made a play-in tournament. So shut the what up about being almost in a playoff spot.
Right?
The other quote he said that was like, really was, he was asked about Pettersson's contract and how you basically have like, this summer he's eligible for an extension. And you have 1 year to resign him. And Allvin's like, well, we really have 2 years to resign him. And I'm just like, dude, no, that's not what I want to hear. Come on, buddy. Yeah, Kyle's leaving. Kyle's off the show because Pettersson's leaving Vancouver. And if Pettersson leaves Vancouver, I know Kyle Bhawan's not coming back to the Locked On Canucks. But I mean, the logic from Allvin there is that, he has Pettersson eligible for an extension this summer. If he doesn't resign, he has a little bit of next offseason to get it done. But it's just like it was a bad cop out, and it's something he shouldn't have said. He should have said our priority is to get our captain signed. Is that so hard to say, Kyle? I don't think so.
I'm sorry I left you there, man. Sometimes I forget this is a show, but these guys make it seem like real life. That was emotional.
It is real life. Well,
that felt good, man. Joe, that felt good. To throw that pillow on the ground, that's not even my pillow. It's not even my pillow. I threw it on the ground. It's a studio, man. Come on, man. You think we're vacuuming that carpet? I just threw that pill on the ground. I didn't give a okay? I didn't give a I just did it. Disrespecting I'm mad. Beggsy, I'm mad. I can't believe you just told me that quote from Allvin. Oh, we really have 2 summers. I will say this though. As I'm speaking out loud, I'm kind of going through the past, and the past was what? An hour ago. And I did watch most of the press conference. There is a chance that this dude is just a funny guy. Like he's kind of sarcastic, you know what I'm saying? He like you know how like they say that thing, the best jokes are the ones that hurt the most because they contain the most truth and all that stuff. Like maybe he's like trolling us a little. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I could see it. And
Yeah.
actually, there's one example from the presser I want to bring up before I want to get to my biggest takeaway from the presser today, which was Tocchet's comments about the captaincy. But Allvin was asked by Harman Dial, who's coming up on tomorrow's show of Locked On Canucks, by the way. Harman Dial asked about Ethan Bear and if he's going to be resigned, if he's earned a raise. And I think Allvin made a joke like, I don't know if he's earned a raise, but
Yeah, and I like. Okay, so that's a really interesting note because I guess we're recapping my experience with this press conference because everything's hitting me now. Again, the last 2 quotes they didn't take me to the edge of the cliff. I fell off for real. I fell off. But now I'm remembering how the conference went down, and I liked when he did that. I liked the joke. I like the hey man, okay, the bar's pretty low here. Listen, maybe he doesn't need a raise. Remember, I said a couple years, a $2 million per, and some people are like, $2 million, that's way too cheap. Well, way too cheap. There's no way he's coming back for $2 million. But dude, you know what I'm saying? It's Ethan Bear. Chill out. The bar is so low here, and I think he was joking. Maybe he wasn't taking the most personal shot, but at the same time, he tells the truth just a bit, bro. In some of these statements, he does, bro, and he's all over the place. But again, touching points of the truth, and there was some there. It's not something to dive into, but it's stating like, yo, I know, because Harman asked him, do you see Ethan Bear being a top 4 defenseman? When you say like, when you talk about being a qualified top 4 D-man, Canadian market, a team that really needs it, yeah, you're looking at, yo, that defenseman's probably getting paid 4 to 4.5. He's actually good. But Ethan Bear, bro, on most teams, he's 5'6". He's 5'6". Yeah. He's 4.5. And if he's not, he's got to prove it longer, bro. This guy didn't play much hockey over the last year and a half, 2 years. He was on Carolina. They used Jalen Chatfield more, Let him prove it for longer before we actually give this guy that.
Doesn't that say something? My goodness.
Top 4 team-man. So I like that, man. Let's not overpay for Ethan Bear. If he wants to come back, I think the team has a lot of control there. 2-year deal, $4 million. Hey, after today, maybe 3.85. 1.9 a year, Come on. Get it done.
Ethan Bear's qualifying offer, by the way, is $2.2 million. So if they qualify him, that's the minimum his contract will have to be, unless they renegotiate before qualifying him, which is what happened with Brock Besser last season. So certainly not impossible. But Kyle, I want to get away from my major takeaway today, and that was comments about the captaincy. So let me backtrack to earlier this morning. I'm commuting to work. I hear Ian McIntyre on Sportsnet Radio say that Quinn Hughes is trending towards being the next captain of the Canucks. And that took me aback a bit because I think the majority of fans in this market, while it's not clear cut, I think the majority of fans thought and still think that it could be Elias Pettersson. And even when I was at the media availability on Sunday, I asked Pettersson, what does he think a good NHL captain looks like? Or what does a good NHL captain look like to him? I should have asked that question to Quinn Hughes looking back on it, because this guy, again, looks like he's trying to be the next Canucks captain. And the reason I say it isn't just from Ian McIntyre's quote. Rick Tocchet was asked about his thoughts on the captaincy in the presser. And you know who you mentioned first, Kyle? I think you know who I'm going to say, especially if you're listening. It was Quinn Hughes.
Yeah.
And I was almost taken aback for how much Rick Tocchet just raved about Quinn Hughes and how Hughes has emerged as a leader and how he's really become more vocal. And, he's miles ahead of, where he was when he first came to the team. And again, he went off about Hughes, and then he mentioned Petey's second, and he definitely wasn't as glowing in his praise about Petey's leadership. He didn't, crap on him or anything like that, but he just said Petey's a quiet guy, and he's emerged a little bit. And then he kind of mentioned that.
Are you just putting shit in Tocchett's mouth? Like, you said the word a little bit. Come on, man.
I don't know if it was a little bit, but it wasn't like this guy's really emerged. It's like he's been like a little bit more talkative. I need to go back and listen, but that's how I heard it, at least. You guys can hit me up in the comments if I'm making it up or if I'm wrong. But
I don't
that
think
was
you're
my
making it
takeaway.
up. I don't think you're making it up. I think there is a lot of that there. And look at what you're mentioning, like you heard it in the morning, McIntyre. It's one thing for a reporter to kind of lean towards that. And then you're talking about being asked a question about the situation by the media, and Tocchet says another dude's name first. Bro, you know what I'm saying? The captain has to be the head coach's boy. You know what I'm saying? That's they're 1-2 in the dressing room. You know what I'm saying? So I think Quinn Hughes is going to be the next captain of the Vancouver Canucks. And am I jumping to conclusions? Hell yeah. I'm irrational. I'm a Canucks fan. Okay. But look at what we've seen. The end of the year, end of the season speech, in front of the people, I know they won that night, but overall, it's like, come on, man. In front of a fan base that is cheering for not even mediocrity at this point. And, he's the one talking to the people. He's the one talking to the people. And then I'm going to say it, bro. You were there. You were there, man. This dude pulled up in a suit. Nobody else did. No, bro. It's I think they already told him. I think he knows. I think it's going to happen. I think Quinn Hughes is going to be the next Canucks captain. And, as for me, I've been saying the whole Pettersson thing for years and years and years and years. It's based on his work rate, how talented he is. It just matches the recipe for having a leader, again, who's working his tail off. He's the first one on the ice, off of the ice, and during the games, he competes the hardest. And, he's one of the most talented offensive players in the league. That effect could be, beautiful for the team. That type of inspiration. I do think you can get something similar with Quinn Hughes and still have the Pettersson effect be the case. Quinn Hughes he's crazy, man. He's the guy. He's the guy.
Yeah. I should have probably a stronger take on, who I would prefer as captain, Hughes or Pettersson. I really don't. I want what's best for the team and what they think is best in that locker room. And I think we're talking out of our rear ends if we know what that is. That being said, I think it's clear that, Hughes is a bit more outspoken. I mean, honestly, Hughes and Pettersson are both pretty soft-spoken dudes. Both very intelligent and well spoken, and I think they think well about their thoughts. Unlike me, at least. Jeez, I just ramble on. But I don't really. To me, it doesn't really matter who's captain. I think either one. It's got to be either one of those guys. It would matter to me if it's like JT Miller or somebody else. But
there you go.
Hughes between Hughes or Pettersson, between Hughes and Pettersson,
man.
What's that?
I said you can't even hold on for one episode. You just gotta take the knife out and give another one to JT right there. I don't know what Justin Timberlake did to you back in the back. Like, I don't know what's going on. Did you have a crush on Britney Spears or something like that? Was your heart broken? Like you don't support any JTs? It's Trevor Beggs, man. Locked on Canucks, your team every day.
Okay, but before we get to break, how would you feel if JT Miller was named captain? Well, you're gonna throw me under the bus. Okay, let's hear your take on it.
Bro, I'd be so disappointed because this guy talked all that smack and then he left the ice early. Was it an injury or was it, like he was just mad? You can't have, you got to be calm, cool, collected at the top and, also be super talented. And you get that with both Quinn Hughes and Pettersson, for real. They're at the top of their game. They're at the top of their class. Pettersson, being right below McDavid because he's impossible to get. Draisaitl too, but he's up there. And Quinn Hughes, look at the stats. I know the Canucks suck and nobody's watching the East Coast when we start playing at 7:00 Pacific Standard Time and it's 10:00. Then y'all go to bed. But you guys are missing out on watching one of the best D-men in the NHL, and he's been proving that for years and years and years and years since he got here. Even in that little portion of the first year of his ELC when they burned it off and he came from college, he was so good in those last 7 games. He's that
100%,
he's that damn good.
100%.
Yeah. He's been good.
Yeah, well, Hughes and Pettersson are at the top of their games. Unfortunately, the Canucks are not. That's when they're not in the playoffs. But the next 16 teams we're going to talk about are in the playoffs. We're going to give our playoff predictions on the other side, or at least I am. I'm not sure about Kyle. But we're going to hear some playoff predictions on the other side. But first, I need to tell you about a product that I literally use every day. AG1 by Athletic Greens. Maybe you're like me. You want to be healthy and eat well, but it's always easier said than done. That's no longer the case with AG1. With one delicious scoop of AG1 in a glass of water each day, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. All the things. It can be hard and expensive to keep track of multiple different supplements and vitamins, not to mention how hard it can be on your stomach. AG1 costs you less than $3 a day. You're investing in your health, and it's cheaper than your cold brew habit. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/NHL Network. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/NHL Network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
You know what they say, man. Who needs health insurance when you got Athletic Greens? Kyle Bhawan, Trevor Beggs, Locked On Canucks, your team every day, every day, every day. Hey, man, it's been every day for a long time when it comes to my relationship with the Vancouver Canucks. It's safe to say that over the last 5, 6, 7 years, it's been on and off. But, I'm still very much in love with this team, and it means so much to me. And I got a phone call from somebody who we've talked about prior on the show, the same dude who went to Game 7 against Minnesota, Game 7 against Boston. He's just been to dark moments. He also went to the Steve Moore, Todd Bertuzzi incident, okay? That dude called me. He called me Friday, and I think he caught wind that the Canucks were the only team to fire their head coach this season, mid-season, and really give up on the Connor Bedard sweepstakes, okay? He called me, and he said if the Canucks if they lose Pettersson, he's out. He's out. Dude just had a kid. He's growing his family, doing his thing. They don't sign Pettersson after decades and decades and decades of being a Canuck fan. He's out. Now, I think he's lying. He's being emotional. He's like, he's never going to fall out of love with the Canucks. But you know what I'm saying? It's getting to that point with people in their fandom for their team. And then we have you, who you're just a nice guy. You're a good dude. You're a good dude. And the Vancouver Canucks can never take away from your complete love of the game. And here you are wanting to talk about other teams on Locked On Canucks, which I appreciate because game has to recognize game. We haven't been around. We haven't been watching the best of the best, here on the West Coast. We're struggling. We got to watch the Canucks. Our standard of hockey is low. At the same time, you got to always recognize game. Again, game recognizes game. And Beggsy is going to tell us his predictions for the first round, or you're going to take it the whole way and tell us who's going to win the cup.
No. We'll just do first round today, and we'll do a Canuck tie, and I'll mention at least one former Canuck in every series. I believe I did write about this for Daily Hive. I still don't think it's been posted. I got to see what Rob's up to. But I think there's only 4 teams that don't have a Canuck who played a game for them this season. And off the top of my head, it's the Dallas Stars, the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I'm blanking on the other ones, but that doesn't matter. I'm screw the whole East-West thing. I'm just going to kind of list off series in terms of what I think is the most least watchable. I'm going to go with the series I'm most interested in, and that is the New Jersey Devils and the New York Rangers. Now, the Rangers are one of 2 teams that have 2 former Canucks on their roster. Can you name the 2 New York Rangers who are playing, or the 2 former Canucks who are playing for the Rangers, Kyle?
Tyler Mott, right? He's one of them.
Yeah. I forgot about the other one, but he's on the roster for the whole season.
We need the game show music here.
It's one of the oldest guys in the NHL.
Yeah, I'm just struggling here. I know this is really bad for podcast listeners. Maybe on YouTube too. Watch me squint.
I keep doing this. I keep doing this to you.
Okay. You know what? Let's cut to it, man. What's the answer, man?
Yaroslav Halak.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
I have the Devils over the Rangers in 7, but to me, this is the most interesting series of round 1. I joked with Chris Faber at the Canucks media availability. He might have saved me from Canucks PR because I was going to ask Quinn Hughes if he was going to be chugging beers in the stands like Brady Tkachuk. And Chris asked the more vanilla version of that question just before I was going to. So shout out to Chris Faber for helping me keep my press pass. Kyle, do you want to give predictions or thoughts, or we're just going to rip through these here? What do you think?
Rip through it. Yeah, go Devils, man. Honestly, if Quinn's going to be there, you might as well see him soak in some greatness, and be inspired and want to one-up his younger brothers. Because honestly, he's for real. The proof is in the pudding, okay? Quinn Hughes, Luke Hughes, Jack Hughes. That's elite. That's unbelievable. Like, that's hard to do. I know they're a hockey family, and the father played in the NHL, and I'm sure the mom was just the most supportive mother, the most loving mother, did her thing, doing all the hard work. It's a team effort to do that much work, when it comes to having elite players in the National Hockey League at the same time. I truly believe the brotherhood between three of them, though, is something we can all learn from. There seems to be a lot of love there, man. Like, they're just leading with love, as competitive as they are, they're just pushing each other. That being said, I think Quinn Hughes could get jealous here. I'm not going to lie. And that's what we need. We just need him to be a little snark, just, want to one up his brothers, because now he's behind. Even the one that just entered the NHL, he's in the playoffs before you.
Yeah. I mean, Quinn Hughes did play playoff games, but, not in front of fans. So, oh, well.
Playoff games, man.
Honestly, I love all the matchups in the East, but I think the second most intriguing series to me, Toronto and Tampa. I finally think Toronto's going to do it. I'm really worried about their goaltending, but they're the better team, and I just think they're going to exercise their demons one of these years, whether we like it or not. So I have Toronto in 6. In terms of former Canucks, obviously Luke Shen and Jordy Ben, still buried in their farm system, played a few games for them this year as well. What do you think, Kyle, Toronto or Tampa?
Yeah, let's have Luke Shen have a standout series, and then free agency comes around, and he's the guy. He's the guy for some teams where they're giving that Eric Goodbranson like money, and maybe that team's your Canucks. For real. Could you imagine?
No,
$3 million deal.
Oh, Jesus. Oh,
Luke
man,
Shen, dude.
No.
Go get it, man. Go get it.
No.
My prediction, though, honestly, bro, I'm one of those people, man. I don't hate Toronto, and I've actually picked them in the past to do better. But this time around, it's hard not to pick the Lightning because they've done it for so long, and they have to prove it. I can't go against them. They're too great, man. 3 straight Cup final appearances. They're just so damn good in the playoffs. Until you show me that you can't win in the playoffs, I'm not picking against you. So the Lightning, for me, are going to win it in 7.
Wow, Lightning in 7. Yeah, I think if it gets to Game 7, the Leafs are in trouble because I just think there's too many wounds there for the Leafs. So I think they got to wrap it up in 6 or less. I did see one guy from The Athletic picking the Leafs to sweep, which I think it's incredibly disrespectful. But yeah, that is what it is. I think third on my list in terms of watchability would be Oilers and Kings, and I'm picking Edmonton at 5. I think Edmonton is just rolling right now. Honestly, I said I wasn't going to do cup predictions, but I don't know if McDavid's going to be stopped this year, to be honest with you. I'm not cheering for Edmonton. I don't want to see Edmonton win. I had this debate with my mom on the weekend. I don't care if they're a Canadian team. I do not want to see them win, but I think this might be Edmonton's year, to be honest with you.
I think it's best for the game if McDavid wins. It's just the truth, man. I think it allows for scoring to continue to go up, for records to want to be broken. Like, just give us a couple more years of this. Actually, just give it to us forever. Offense just matters more. Every league is scoring way more. The NFL, the NBA. I don't know about baseball. Let's just continue that. And I think the easiest way to get that through to the people and the kids and communicate that is having McDavid be the face of long playoff runs. And when the Canucks are not in, just get this guy 1 cup or something. Just go on a run here. He was on a run last year too, man. Look at the numbers, man. This guy's been almost 2 points per game for like literally how many games in a row, bro? It's so gross, man. And he can do a lot for the game. And holy crap, we're already at the 26-minute mark. We still got 4 or 5 series to talk about, man.
No, I think we had to redo it like 5 minutes in, right? So I think we're actually like the 21-minute mark. Carolina and the Islanders. That's probably my 4th series. I think it's gonna be really close. I have Carolina in 7, but I could see this going either way. Obviously, Bo Horvat on the New York Islanders roster. And we mentioned him off the top, Jalen Chatfield for the Carolina Hurricanes. Yeah, I hope Bo knows early playoff exit. So, yeah, go Canes, go.
I like
Any comments there, Kyle? Should I move on?
No. Honestly, let me have 30 seconds here, okay, man? It's still, yeah, it is, man, because we're sensitive right now, man. He didn't have to do that, man. He knows we're irrational over these little things, and he took a shot at us 10 days ago, and it just seemed unnecessary. Why attack the people? You know what I'm saying, bro? Because it's been, we've said it since he said it. There's that viral clip that's going around. It's like, bro, you never got the hate from us, and you were the captain here, and we sucked, and you never. Come on, man. He knew what he was doing anyways. It's F. Bo Horvat. The Hurricanes are playing the Hurricanes in 3 games. F out of here, man.
Yeah, okay. Canes in 3. I love it.
Yeah.
Number 5 on my watchability list. I'm going Jets and Knights. I'm a closeted Jets fan a little bit, and I think the Jets are actually going to pull off the upset here. I have Jets in 6.
Yeah.
Connor Hellebuck leading the charge, MVP of this series, and I don't want to see Vegas win either. So get out of here.
Trevor, man, honestly, you got to stop doing that stuff, man. Just being fans of multiple teams. And can you just let us know in the comments below if you think Trevor Beggs is a phony? If he's a phony Vancouverite? Because he has like 4 teams he cheers for in the same league that the Canucks play in? Come on, bro. Put all your spirit in one team, dude. Whatever's in the closet, leave it in the closet.
Yeah, I think it changes a bit during playoff time. But hey, again, tell me in the comments what you think. I'd love to hear it.
Yeah. Phony.
Number 6 on my list, Boston and Florida. I actually flip-flopped on this one. I don't think this is going to be a cakewalk for Boston. They're obviously, I think there's probably too much made about the health scares right now. I don't know if you've heard, but Boston has a bug going through the team. Like Bergeron's questionable for game 1 tonight, Allmark. I think aside from that noise, I just think Florida is better than your typical 8th seed. I think they actually handed Boston 2 of their 4 losses this year. I know Boston's maybe won a bit more than that, but I have Boston in 6. But I was tempted to pick Florida in the upset here, even though Boston had the best regular season in NHL history.
Dude, okay, so again, I'm back on it this summer, going through the regimen, the Trevor Beggs hockey program, just like the Canucks are going through the Rick Tocchet boot camp in the summer. Is Florida using Bobrovsky as their number 1?
I'm not sure who's starting in game 1. It's either Alex Lyon or Sergei Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky backed up for the last game of the regular season, but Lyon was, I think he had a 950 save percentage in 7 starts. So I'm curious. I know we're recording 2 hours to the puck drop, so I'm curious who's going to start, but it's either Lyon or Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky is good to go, though.
I feel as if Florida's a bit of a benchmark for the Canucks. It's like you could have bad contracts and, just bring in new faces all the time and kind of just squeak in. And I know they won the President's Trophy last year and whatnot, but it's like, dude, you got to prove something, And look at that. They got a $10 million potential backup. It's hard to be great when you have anchors like that,
Yeah, 100%. Number 7 on my list, Dallas and Minnesota. I probably should have this one higher up because I think it's one of the biggest toss-ups to me. I don't know. I just don't really care about either of these teams or watching them all that much. But I have Dallas in 7. And yeah, I don't really have much to say about that series other than this. Dallas was, again, one of 4 teams. I think it was Boston, Edmonton, Dallas, and Tampa Bay were the 4 teams who had no former Canucks. Although Minnesota, let me tell you, their former Canucks, Nick Patan, who got called up and scored late in the season, and Joseph Cramarosa, shout out to the Willie D era. Those are the 2 former Canucks who played games for them this season. Kyle, any thoughts on Dallas, Minnesota?
Nope. Okay. Nope, but shout out Nick Patan, man. Go get it.
Nick Patan. Okay, 8th on my list. This is the only soup I have. I have Colorado over Seattle in 4. Good job, Seattle. Made it to the playoffs. I don't think you're going to win a single game, and I hope you don't.
Let's cut to break, man. I don't want to talk about how the Seattle Kraken already had a 100-point season, man. Get the break right now, man. Honestly, man.
You're listening to Locked On Canucks.
Okay, you're back on Locked On Canucks. Kyle Bhawan, Trevor Beggs. Beggsy just spent the last 46 minutes talking about the rest of the league. It just made me super sad and miss the game even more. And you know me, I'm all about the people. Let's keep it local, okay? Let's keep it local onto the page. And we love the comments and all the new people that are joining in on the action. And as always, love us or hate us, agree with us or not. It's Go Canucks Go. We're just here for you. The first comment is from Wild Eyes 100. Ask Petey and Hughes if they want to play for a rebuilding team. Bro, ask Petey and Hughes if they're already playing for a rebuilding team, okay? Come on, man. Canucks are so bad. Look at the standings, yo. And look at the standings year after year after year. They are playing on a rebuilding team that wants to get really lucky.
Thanks for the comment. I think that would be a better question to ask if the Canucks were clearly not trying to rebuild. They're clearly trying to do all they can to win. If they were rebuilding, then I think it'd be a fair question for sure.
And on that note, Wild Eyes was referring to Beggsy, prior to it actually happening, being there. Where am I going with this? Because I'm gonna get emotional here. Talking about Beggsy and his dreams coming true. This guy's in the room at the end of the season asking the players questions, and I got really emotional here and cried up a storm because my dude Trevor Beggs got his way into the press conference at the end of the season. My guy, man, doing this for a very long time, doing it his own way. And why not give the man his flowers now, man? For real. I know there's so much more work to be done, but I am very, very proud of that type of effort. And yeah, for real, if you're listening to this, watching this, don't wait to give a loved one their flowers. Because as much as I do say, you know, life is long, it also is very short. And yeah, Beggsy, congratulations. Onwards and upwards. Keep doing you. Keep being genuine. And yo, let go of all the other teams you cheer for in the NHL. That is some buffoonery, for real. Let's get back to the show. I love it when dreams come true, yo. Just don't give up out there, okay, if you're watching this. Banana Man. Canucks are literally the worst team in the history of professional sports. I'm from Vancouver. By the way, yo, it has to work. It has to work now, or we may be the New York Jets. We may be the Sacramento Kings. I know they just won one playoff game the other day.
No, they lost. They lost
to the Warriors? Didn't they win?
Oh, sorry. No. Sorry. I'm thinking, my bad. I'm thinking Grizzlies, Lakers. Yeah, sorry. They won. My bad.
Oh, okay, whatever. There you go. A little bit of a connection. But yeah, the Sacramento Kings didn't make the playoffs for like what? Maybe like 14, 15, 16 years.
Yeah.
16 years. That could be the Canucks. Just realize that until they prove it. Until they prove that their philosophy that is so different than everyone else's around the league is the one that leads to success. Because right now it's the only thing that we can look at as a reference point, you know? Like, it's got to work. There's never been this method to a madness that actually worked in the NHL. Because anyways, we're just going to go down this path, man. Just prove us wrong so you don't become the New York Jets or the Sacramento Kings or the Cleveland Browns or just teams that are just bad for like 20 to 30 years, because it's only been 10 and a half, 11, 12 years or whatever, and it's been tough, man. I see my friends less because the Canucks suck. My life is worse because the Canucks suck. Oh, you're old, man. There's other things to do. Don't take it so serious. I'm telling you right now, my life is worse because the Canucks suck. Kyle Bhawan, Trevor Beggs, Locked On Canucks. Let's get out of here, man. You're just boiling me up, man. It's Monday. Now I'm going to start my week off being pessimistic. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, man.
You're
Thanks
welcome,
for doing
man.
this.
I think you should lighten up and watch some NHL playoff hockey. I know you're sad that Canucks aren't in the dance, but NHL playoff hockey is, I think some of the best entertainment in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, so sad. So sad.
I don't even know how to add. Like, what is that? What is NHL playoff hockey? What is it? We don't know.
Well, whether you're watching NHL playoff hockey or not, we appreciate you for listening to this episode of Locked On Canucks, your team every day. Again, make sure you subscribe, follow. We love it if you leave a comment, maybe give your playoff predictions. And then coming up later this week on the show, we got Harman Dial hopping on the program tomorrow. And then later this week, I do want to touch on some other talking points, including Allvin's comments about buyouts from earlier today. And Kyle, this week we got 420 coming up, okay? 420. So let's touch on the greatest 420 moments in Canucks history. How does that sound to you?
I just want to get out of here, man.
All right. Well, on behalf of Kyle, I'm Trevor Beggs, and we thank you for listening to Locked On Canucks.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.